Welcome. So you want to get into containers, but you're looking for a way to do it that's a bit simpler, a bit more secure, without all the heavy background stuff running all the time. Well, you've come to the right place. We're going to break down Podman, an awesome tool that lets you find, build, and run containers directly on your machine.
Here's what we've got on tap today. First, we'll cover the basics. What exactly is Podman? Then we're going to get into its secret sauce, this whole daemonless thing. After that, it's time to get hands-on with the command line, spin up a real service, and then we'll finish up by checking out the slick Podman Desktop experience.
All right, let's start at square one. Before we can really get what Podman does, we need to have a quick refresher on what a container actually is.
Okay, so think of a container as this perfectly sealed, self-contained little box. Inside that box, you've got your application and absolutely everything it needs to run. All its code, all its libraries, everything. And that isolation, that's the real magic. It means your app runs the exact same way no matter where you put it, from your laptop to a huge server without messing with anything else on the system.
And this is where Podman steps in. Podman is the tool that lets you manage all these little boxes. It's open source, and it's built to work with OCI containers, which is really just the industry standard blueprint for how these containers should work. So yeah, Podman is basically your command center for finding, running, and building containers.
So what makes Podman so special? I mean, there are other container tools out there, right? Well, the key thing, the absolute game changer with Podman is its daemonless architecture. And trust me, that's a much bigger deal than it sounds.
This slide really gets to the core of it. See, a lot of traditional tools use what's called the daemon, this one central process that's always running in the background, managing everything. The problem? If that one daemon crashes, your whole container setup goes down with it. It's a massive, single point of failure. Podman just gets rid of it. It talks directly to the system, which makes it way more stable. And the other huge win here is security. Because there's no central daemon, Podman doesn't need those super high-level system permissions, which is just a whole lot safer.
All right, enough theory, that's the why. Now let's get into the how. We're going to hop onto the command line and walk through exactly what it looks like to get your very first container up and running with Podman.
It's a really simple four-step process. First, we're going to pull an image down from an online library called a registry. Then we'll list the images on our own machine to make sure it's there. After that, we'll run a container using that image. And finally, we'll check on its status to see what happened. Let's do it. Step 1. Podman pull. You can see the command right there at the top of the terminal. This tells Podman to go out to a remote registry and download the container image we want. And you can see in the output right below it, it's pulling down all the pieces and parts of that image and storing them on our computer.
Okay, so is the image actually on our machine? Let's find out. We run Podman images. And you can see right there in the middle of the screenshot, this command gives us a list of everything we've downloaded. And yep, there it is. First on the list, ready to go.
And now for the main event, Podman run. Take a look at that command near the bottom. This is what actually creates and starts a new container from our image. We also told it what to do inside that container. In this case, just echo or print the words Red Hat. And look right below the command, there's the output. The container started up, printed the text, and its job was done. Simple as that.
This is a great way to see how containers live and die. If you just type Podman PS, you won't see anything, because that only shows containers that are currently running. But our container's only job was to print some text, so it finished and stopped immediately. By adding that -all flag, we get to see every container we've ever run, including ours, with the status exited.
Okay, so a simple echo command is one thing, but what about something that needs to run for a long time, like a web server that's waiting for people to connect? How do you handle that?
Let's try to run a web server. We use Podman run again, but notice that new -p flag. That's for ports. It connects port 8080 on our computer to port 8080 inside the container. This is what lets you actually visit the web server in your browser. But look at the terminal. It's just scrolling the server logs, and it's completely stuck. We can't type any more commands. The fix for this is super simple. We just add one more flag, -d, which stands for detach. This tells Podman, hey, run this thing in the background. The command runs, it spits out a unique ID for our container, and boom, we get our terminal prompt right back. The server is still running, happy as can be, but it's not blocking us anymore.
Now, the command line is amazing and powerful, for sure. But I know not everyone wants to live in a terminal all day, and for you, Podman's got you covered.
Say hello to Podman Desktop. It's a full-on graphical application that gives you this beautiful dashboard to see and manage all your containers and images, no terminal required.
And this comparison is just perfect. On the left, you've got our good old Podman Images command in the terminal. On the right, you've got the Images screen in Podman Desktop. It is the exact same information, just presented in two totally different ways. You pick what works for you.
Honestly, Podman Desktop is a fantastic partner to the command line. It's great for doing common things with just a few clicks. It's a super intuitive way for beginners to figure out what's going on, and you can even expand what it does with plugins.
And that's really the key takeaway here. Podman gives you the freedom to choose your own adventure. Whether you're a command line wizard or you'd rather click around a GUI, you get a powerful, secure way to manage your containers.
So we've looked at what Podman is, why that daemonless design is such a game changer, and how you can drive it from both the terminal and a desktop app. Which brings us to the final question, really. Command line or desktop? How are you going to build your next container?